Hey guys, it's Mathel here once again with another hipster attempt at a build, and this time around it is a wander based off of a Phys wand that Rog gave me. So the Rog crafting mechanic gave me a wand that had a decent amount of Phys damage on it and a cold roll, and I turned that into attack speed, crit, Phys, cold. And I wanted to build an entire wander based around Phys damage to begin with, which is Phys into elemental damage converted. But as we all know, wanders kind of make use of all types of damage at the same time, so you do just stack flat elemental at the same time as well, and ultimately we kind of just do all kinds of damage and all kinds of scaling anyway. But the idea was to go low life with this build. As you can see, half my life is reserved, and then use Bloodthirst to amplify the physical damage even further. And this is an Inquisitor, so with our full elemental conversion we also ignore elemental resists and can stack whatever we want. Ends up being okay. So it's just kind of the thickest wander I've ever made, which was somewhat unintentional. I just wanted a decent Phys wand based character, but being that we are low life Inquisitor with the energy shield regen as well, kind of just naturally progressed that I built it fairly thick. So it does have about 2.7 thousand life at the moment, I think, with the low life petrified blood mechanic, a really thick amount of regen, some good leech, and as well as that eldritch battery and mind over matter. As well as that, we are block capped with glancing blows, so it's not a super good block like you would traditionally have because glancing blows, but we've also got a life on block shield mod. So in the end it can take quite a lot of hits and it can do quite a lot of regen, and it is probably less full YOLO than the usual wander I would have made, which just kind of has like 4 or 5k life and then just speed runs everything, kills anything before you get hit. In this case I can take hits, I can recover, and the DPS it's okay. I'm at 2 million single target at the moment, and Kinetic Blast, as you can see, still just cleans up everything on a 4 link, though it is a pseudo 5 link because we've got faster attacks in our gloves as well. And it is otherwise just Power Siphon on our 6 link for barrage goodness. Now the main kind of theme behind the build was just purely running a wander with Spellslinger because I also wanted to run Flame Wall and the new MTX. As you can tell, there's like all kinds of crazy unicorn vomit RGB happening in the build. That is because of the Flame Wall MTX and also the Celestial Kinetic Blast. And yeah, I love that Flame Wall MTX. It kind of doesn't do too much, the Flame Wall on Spellslinger. It just gives you similar damage to like an Anger Aura, which isn't too bad with a use of 25% of your mana, and then also just looks pretty cool. So for that, it has succeeded, but ultimately it's not really much of a success story for a Phys wander as far as I can tell, because the Bloodthirst gem, even with 6k life in this setup and a whole bunch of Phys scaling for Phys to other elements and shit, is worth about the same as a Woke Lightning or a Woke Cold. Level 5 though, of course. So it's not bad, but it's still not anything amazing. And if we take off all the Phys on our wand and just went pure Ellie wander, it'd probably be similar damage. And ultimately, if you went like int stacking, like most good wanders are right now, int stacking lightning damage, you'd probably have more damage once again. So don't know where that leaves us, but hey, it's an attempt at a character that was a little bit hipster and using an Inquisitor, which just about no one uses these days, and it's been pretty good so far. It's taken a very short amount of time to get to the level 90, like 15 hours or some shit, but that is just wanding and Kinetic Blast, and still just as strong as always. Haven't even set up flasks, just running whatever dumpster flasks I've had the entire time. So with that, still going to keep playing it, take it to endgame, and I'll go ahead and show you how the character's built so far. So here's my little character, level 91 door wall, door, Inquisitor, wander wall, level 90, currently 5,500 life. and looking like the RGB mess that he's supposed to, because Flame Wall, Transcendence. We'll actually just dive into the hideout real quick so that you can see low life and all that, auras and shit. But the actual MTX for the Flame Wall, just there, thought it looked cool, and I like the idea of the projectiles going through it, so that's kind of why I decided to build a Wander at the moment, and because Rog gave us this weapon. So it just had physical damage, cold damage, and then he ended up hitting something else like attack speed and taking off something else because there was some shitty low-level mod. Then multi-modded it, and it ends up being quite a big DPS one, something like 500 DPS. But the main thing is that it's got attack speed, crit, the cold damage roll, and then, you know, it'd be better off as just a pure Ellie wand these days. So big flat lightning, or just lightning to attacks based off of int, and then building an actual int-based wander would be better, but we're a Phys-based wander, so with a Phys-based wand, basically we are trying to scale Bloodthirst as well. So 2% of your max life will be added as Phys, currently 5,500, and it will go a little bit higher. We can hit 6k life just by taking these nodes here, which will also help out the energy shield side of things, as I do have Eldritch Battery, thanks to Devouring Diadem, and Mind Over Matter. So it's actually been pretty nice having a Wander that just has absolutely no mana issues. I can attack with Kinetic Blast as much as I want, and the regen on ES is always going to take care of that. And when we take damage and Mind Over Matter helps us out as well, the energy shield just goes straight back up to full because we have so much regen coming from Pious Path. The life regen gets converted to ES as well. You can see our energy shield regen at the moment is 805, and it spikes every so often just for surging vitality. And if we have our golem up, we're at 900 regen, so 900 ES a second when I've only got 1700. It's pretty goddamn thick. Likewise with life regen, for the amount of life that I actually have, is pretty insane. And then we've got this little bit of leech happening as well. So we're a pretty thick character, and you know, overall got glancing blows, block cap with that shit, and with this shit, not quite block cap actually, it's 70%, but good enough for now. And using a shield with an implicit of recover 5% of life when you block. Those do exist. The base can cost anywhere from like 20C to about an Exalt, though there probably won't be that many out there anymore. Otherwise, you can just craft your own using a Shaper base, and then more life rerolls with the Harvest or Fossils, but Fossils mean you won't get Energy Shield quite as easily. Otherwise, it's a very basic shield. I might still try and upgrade it, because all it does is life, a little bit of ES, and some resists. But ideally, I love having a spare suffix to do double damage focus 15% of the time. But yeah, pretty standard stuff otherwise, using a replica lore weave because it really basically across the board helps my character. The more mana I have, the more I can reserve for my vitality, more energy shield, crit, Phys damage, stats, Ellie damage, all of that shit is absolutely amazing for this type of a build. Using my usual assassin mark ring, Mark of the Elder is really big for the character. Just got this belt from either Rog or found on the ground. I don't know, it's a pretty nice belt. Just a bunch of life, strength, and as an Inquisitor, strength or int can be used as crit, and in this case it is strength at the moment. So that's an extra 340 crit, pretty damn thick. Originally I did go this way on the passive tree, but decided it wasn't worth it in the end and we'd focus on some other things. But if we do something like that, then int becomes more of the crit stat that we need to up if we want more crit. But I should be at about 100% crit on this character, even without a crit strike gem, once we get power charges going and assassin mark on the enemy. So it's pretty damn good to have crit as a main ascendancy focus there. Our large cluster is going for opportunistic fusillade, but mostly Storm's Hand, because I am trying to convert all of my Phys to elemental damage, and doing that I have Storm's Hand. I have a Watcher's Eye that triple benefited, but the life regen's kind of whatever. The attack speed's nice, but the main thing we're looking for is the physical damage converted to lightning through Wrath. So I am using Wrath, Hatred, and Petrified Blood with a level 3 Enlighten up in Devouring Diadem, and that lets me get all kinds of sick reservations, especially with the Wrath Helm enchant. Yeah. Hatred isn't that huge in the build because, yeah, the Phys to early scaling is, you know, I'm trying to make it work, but for the most part, flat elemental damage is still pretty damn good. So I've then also got the gloves for physical converted to lightning. It's still not quite 100% conversion. I can run Phys Reflect maps, but they hurt a little bit. Otherwise, not really too much else on jewels because jewels aren't amazing for this type of build for wanders. Just a little murderous hide that gives life, attack speed, and accuracy. Accuracy is kind of one of those things you really need to fix on a wander. So I've got accuracy on gloves, on the amulet, which is pretty basic, just life, accuracy, and Ellie. Ideally would have also had crit multi because it is pretty long crit multi as well. But then we've got all these accuracy nodes here, and we fit a precision in on the life as well. So over here we have Arrogance attached to Spellslinger, Flame Wall, and level 4 precision at the moment. It will probably go a little bit higher if I spec into these life nodes. Over here we have our Kinetic Blast setup. Kinetic Blast, greater multiple projectiles, early damage with attacks, and crit damage. So I don't have Pierce here. That is coming from the boots, which are pretty shit, but they do have 2 Pierce, and that is all that really counts. And then I crafted Onslaught on them. Over here is Vitality, Stone Golem, and Flame Dash. And the main links for our Power Siphon are Barrage, so that's what turns it into a single target, Hypothermia, Crit Damage, Bloodthirst, and Ellie damage with attacks. And then a whole bunch of shit flasks. I'll probably end up using a Cinder Swallow, maybe a Taste of Hate as well. But the main thing will be Cinder Swallow, just pressing it for boss fights to get Onslaught and 10% increased damage to the enemies. But they are pretty flexible slots, can do kind of whatever you want. Series Flask, Vinctars, just some base ults or some shit with attack speed. But yeah, flexibility is high, and we don't even need Diamond Flask anymore. Pretty sure I'm damn near crit capped, or at least not getting that much use out of it. So that's currently the character. It's been a pretty decent example of a wander, but you're probably better off going with a pure flat Ellie, even int stack, something like that. But it's been a Thicc experience. I got about 2 million DPS. I'll see how the end game goes. Should be nice actually taking a few hits, but more DPS is usually just better anyway. So I imagine the end game will go okay, but typically just killing things faster is still better than surviving and killing things medium. So we'll see, but that's the game we play. So thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.